what was going through your head at that point, and or is it still just kind of too cool to even think about right at the moment?
It is still super cool to think about, and it almost doesn't feel real. I was saying that back in Mahaney.
It's a fever dream.
It's a fever dream. But I turned to everyone on the court during match point 24, and I just said, hey, give it everything you've got. This is the last point. Put it all on the floor, lay it all out. I knew we were exhausted. I knew we had been battling, but then we won. The point happened, and we all dove into the middle, and I think that's when I realized, when I felt all my teammates around me and I was surrounded by this, joy, I was like, oh my gosh, we just won the conference championship, and that's when it felt real. But, yeah, so.
And then, Georgia, there was so much on the line with the number 1 ranking, the conference championship, playing your arch rival. Did it mean more winning it that way, beating Trinity, than it would have had you beat, even Southwestern?
Yeah, that was extremely satisfying, and people are calling this the international championship. You can if you want to, but we all knew the pressure that was on us during this game, and we were really able to handle it well and work with that pressure and use it to motivate us. And in the end, we just did it for ourselves, and we did it for everybody around us and everybody in the program, and it was extremely satisfying.
And this was Big Rick's last match. I know he doesn't talk about it with you, but talk about what you were saying amongst yourselves, about the old one for the Gipper kind of situation.
Yeah, like G said, we constantly were saying, yes, win this for ourselves, but win this for Rick, for Rachel, who's just, would have done anything to be on the court with us, for our families, for our friends, for the alumni. And even going into, I think it was set 4, and we needed to really win that game. Before we started, I just said as a reminder right before the game, and I said, win this for Rick. Do it for yourself, work hard for yourself, work hard for your teammates, and work hard for Rick, because he has given us everything over the years, especially my 4 years here. He's always believed in us. He'll always text, call, he goes the extra mile. So I feel like the least we could have done was go the extra mile for him and win this championship.
Yeah, he deserved that ending 100%. He's done so much for this program, so much for me individually and everybody on the team, and we just really wanted to give him that win.
And we did.
And we did. Cool. You go down 1-0, and it really wasn't anything Trinity did. It was kind of what we were doing. Lots of the net.
Yes.
Balls that got hit long.
6 missed shots.
So what was said at that point, and were you still feeling confident that we would be able to come back, even dropping the first set?
100%. We knew that during that first set we were not playing our best volleyball. We weren't even playing our good volleyball. But we knew they were playing good. So again, we knew that no matter what, if we elevated our game, we were going to have a much easier time. We were confident that we were going to be able to get into that flow and find our rhythm, because that's what it took to win the game. And we're a mentally tough team, and I trusted in every single one of us that we were going to be able to make that switch halfway through the game, and we did, and we executed it.
For Isabel.
Yes.
You have so many weapons to use. We were looking at the distribution of the attacks, and we were just amazed that almost, across the board, everybody was getting their swings. It makes it really hard for the opposition to stop.
Yeah.
And we were watching two blockers try to follow Jay around, and that really opens things up with so many options. So talk about having so many weapons on the team.
Oh, it's phenomenal. As a setter, it's your dream to always have literally every single option on the court. Especially because it just makes me a better player, knowing that I can set literally whoever, and I know they will get a kill. So I don't have to worry or overthink about not setting someone, or only setting to the outside or whatever, setting a certain pin. But I know that they work so hard, the hitters. They've worked hard all season. And so when they're transitioning hard, when they're getting blocks, it literally makes my job so easy. Like, I always want to give credit to them because they literally do all the work. All I do is just put the ball up. So
You make it easy.
yeah.
You do all the work.
But no, it's incredible, and I'm beyond grateful that I got to set for this team this year. So.
And then Georgia, there's a lot of pressure that comes with being named Player of the Year the day before, and the same with being named Setter of the Year for the first time. Did you feel that added pressure? Did that add something to it? That now I really got to go out and perform today.
Definitely. I'm always skeptical of the release dates of those announcements. Even at D1, they do that.
Strategic.
Yeah. But it is a lot of pressure. We had a little bit of a rough practice yesterday, and I think it was because of all the hype we were getting, getting recognized on so many different levels. So it was good to get it out yesterday, because I do think that having that kind of recognition does affect your playing. It kind of makes you think like, okay, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
But we knew coming into this game today that none of that meant anything, because the girls on the other side of the net are all, just as good, if not as good. So we knew that given all of those awards and honors and everything that we got yesterday, that we were just going to have to put it in the back of our heads and play the volleyball we've been playing all year without that kind of recognition.
Totally. And sometimes used it as motivation. Like when we were on the court and I knew G needed to get a kill, I'd be like, you're the player of the year, let's get a kill. But only
That
in
did
like
happen.
small moments. It wasn't like an aggressive amount.
Definitely fueled us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motivation for sure.
And then I have to ask that, beating Trinity for the championship and, 1 versus 2, national, there's no national championship, but this is kind of the de facto national championship. Can it get any better than that?
Absolutely not. It really can't.
No, yeah, there would not have been a more satisfying team to beat. It's a great matchup always between us and Trinity, and they're a really good team, and we just wanted to push ourselves and be better, and that's what we did all season long, and we were better, and it paid off.
And there's a great amount of respect between both teams, like in our rivalry and like in our competitions. I feel like we respect them, they respect us, and I think that at the end of the day, like that's all that matters, and that's great fun, great volleyball, and like I wouldn't want to play any other way. So, yeah, I also wouldn't want to go out any other way than this. Like being a senior, this being the last match, like it was amazing. It was so cool.
That's one of the biggest satisfactions in beating Trinity today, is that it's the perfect ending for Rick and for our seniors. Next year that rivalry is going to be back. It's going to be just as intense, and maybe things fall differently. Hopefully not. But to give Belle and Allie and Rachel and Lainey and Emma that kind of an ending versus that kind of a team, it's the best you could ask for.
So cool.